We're recording in three, two, and one.
And thank you so much for joining us as you do for each and every episode of Let's Talk, now on YouTube and on Facebook. Yes, you can see as well as hear, and you can also call 615-737-9292. 737-9292. Go to YouTube, and there we are. Go to 92Q Nashville. Also, go to Let's Talk Live on Facebook. Call in with your questions and comments, because today we want to deal with what's going on in America, what's going on in the state of Tennessee, and what is happening locally. What is the state of Black America? What is the state of Black Middle Tennessee? We have Clifton Harris, who is the president and CEO of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, along with Kenya Magruder, who's the director of Civic and Community Engagement. Mr. President, good to see you again. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been great, Ernie. Thank you, so much for having me back. It's good to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Mr. Magruder, how have you been?
I'm good, Ernest. Nice to be back with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we want to find out what is happening in America. This is an election year. A lot of things are going on. A lot of things are happening around the world.
That's right.
But let's talk about the Urban League of Middle Tennessee. First, some people may even get the organization confused with other organizations, but no. The role and purpose of the Urban League, sir.
So the Urban League exists for the purpose of assisting African Americans and other disenfranchised groups and neighborhoods, to gain access to economic self-reliance, power, parity, and civil rights. In short, the Urban League has been on the quest for 114 years,
Wow.
making sure that people have access to economic opportunities. And here locally, we've been serving the community for 56 years.
Wow. How long have you been president, sir?
I've been president a little over 7 years now.
All right. You like it?
I love it.
All right.
It's a
People
great job.
helping people.
They pay me to do this, Ernie.
Right. The state of Black America.
Yes.
Normally, there's an annual report.
There is an
Can
annual
you break
report.
it down for us?
Yeah, it's an annual report that is, we use a pie chart to show, how well blacks are doing in comparison to whites when it comes to their economic status.
Yes, sir.
In their health, in education, in social justice, and civic engagement. And so I try to put it this way to people. Would you go to the store and buy a pie and pay 100% for that pie, but you only got 75% of the pie?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So
Right.
the Equality Index says that Black Americans, in comparison to whites, they have about 75.7% of the pie, right? And so about 24, we want to know where that other 24% is. Where's the rest of our pie?
When did the Urban League feel that it needed to do an annual report on the state of Black America?
Yeah, because this is a benchmark, to show whether or not, we have been making progress, since the enactment, of the 60 years ago, the Civil
Right.
Rights, Act.
So how are we doing? We're doing all right?
We got a long way to go, Ernie. We've made some
Wow.
progress, but we still have a long way to go, right? We're still playing catch up.
What are some of the inequities?
Some of the inequities still exist in housing right now. Compared to white America is around 73% home ownership. African Americans around 44%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to make some strides in making sure that we get people access to good paying jobs so that they can have resources to buy their own homes. So we are in this fight right now all across the country about affordable housing. But at the end of the day, we have a wage problem here in Tennessee. $7.25 an hour just will not cut it.
Wow. So they're still playing around with the money.
They're still playing around with the money.
Are we getting the right percentage of pay when it comes to others?
No. We are underrepresented in some of the high demand jobs and overrepresented in some of the low demand jobs. So we got to reverse that trend. we in the last couple of months, last 6 months or so, we've gotten a little over 100 people into really good paying jobs, and that's exciting. But what excites me the most, Ernie, is that we currently are working with a little over 650 individuals that are being trained in order to go into those high demand fields.
And of
stuff.
course, they get into training at the Urban League.
They're getting that training at the Urban League.
What type of jobs?
Jobs in
Or career fields, for that matter.
jobs in healthcare, in IT, high industry manufacturing, construction, business services, which is your banking industries and things, and hospitality.
Right. What type of background do I need in order to qualify?
You just need to have a heart not to work and a willing mind to work.
All right. No particular age or
Well,
education status?
Right now we're doing 14 to 24. That's our focus concentration right now, where we're working with a lot of different employers through our Tennessee youth employment program.
So the employers are contacting you.
Employers
So
are
we got
contacting
jobs
us.
with nobody to fill them.
That's right. And I'm actually paying the employers, to hire these individuals. I'm putting the first $16 an hour on the table for them.
Wow.
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. So if
People taking advantage of it?
people are taking advantage of it, so lots of times, especially during the summer, we have summer interns that we want to hire to help us out. Well, we'll pay for those summer interns, but think of it year round.
Right.
Yeah.
Racism, discrimination. Are we still hearing these two words often?
Well, we're still hearing those two words often, and
Yeah.
now is attack on democracy as far as diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so the Urban League has three pillars that it's going to be fighting for in the weeks and days and months and years ahead. In the area of we're going to defend democracy,
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to demand diversity, and we're going to defeat poverty.
Are many blacks still facing discrimination when it comes to applying for these jobs?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
What are the employers looking at?
Well, you hear stuff like we can't find any qualified African Americans, and to that I say you aren't committed to looking, because
Okay.
I'm finding qualified applicants every day.
Right.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of companies that are moving here, and we already know that you can't bring enough people into the city to fill your employment needs, and so our most precious resource is our human capital, and we have to invest in our human capital, and that means our people that are boots
Right.
on the ground right here in Nashville, Davidson County.
What are some of the myths or facts, if you will, or just myths about black applicants?
Well, we have to deal with those racial biases and all of won't come to work on time, lazy, not really sure and all if they understand what we're trying to do here. So we have to overcome all of that.
Right.
So we do in our training, we make sure that we do the soft skills training so that people understand.
Job readiness skills.
Yes, so that people know how to deal with people.
Right. You're going to teach me how to dress,
That's right.
how to fill out a resume,
Mm-hmm.
and how to get that job.
And I'm going to teach you what to say when the boss come to you and say, okay, your 15-minute break is over and you've been taking 20 minutes, and how to react to that and then go back to
How
work.
should I react?
You should go back to
My
work.
supervisor
you
will
should-
tell me all the time, hey,
That's right.
how long you take lunch today?
Yeah, you just got to go back to work. Say, okay,
Right.
yes, yeah, I'm going back to work.
Right. So it doesn't matter. 70 what, 5%?
75.7%. No,
Who
is
can
where
we
are.
complain to? Can we come back to you and say, he just hired Johnny and Johnny's making $8 an hour and I'm only making $7.50?
Yeah, well, that would be.
You're going to do something about it?
That would be one. We could point you in the right direction, but at that, you have to go and talk, to the EEOC officers and all around that
Right.
issue.
What about housing? There's still discrimination on that?
Yes, still discrimination in housing, still discrimination in when we go to get appraisals to sell our homes, right?
Right.
Appraisals come out and they devalue our homes less than what they're valued at. I had an incident where a neighbor across the street ran into that, and what we did is we actually had one of our white friends. We took all the pictures down. We had one of our white friends go in and stage when the adjuster was coming out, and the appraisal came out 2 times higher than what it
What?
usually was. So yeah,
If it just came to you because you're a black family,
that's right.
you get a low appraisal?
Yep.
So you got
Correct.
your neighbor to come over and sit around the kitchen table.
That's right.
You get a higher appraisal.
Higher appraisal.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. Redlining still exists.
Injustices.
It's still alive and kicking.
It's 2024.
Well, 2020.
When is enough enough?
When Jesus comes.
It's an election year. It's an election year. Perhaps we can put people in office who can change some of this.
That's right. We're going to have to be more conscientious and cognizant of who we put into office. We just can't have itching ears and tickling ears. So we got to know what people stand for, and we got to get the right people into office. And then some of us, we have to step up, to be called. We just can't sit on the sideline and complain. Maybe the Lord's calling you to be in public service.
The State of Black America. Our guests include the president and CEO of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, and Ms. Kenya Magruder, Director of Civic and Community Engagement. You can post your questions, or you can simply pick up the phone, 615-737-9292. Live not only on YouTube, but on Facebook as well. Grab a phone line, 615-737-9292. If you don't have time to talk, then, of course, you can post your question or your comment, and we'll let the president know. Ms. Magruder, you're the Director of Civic and Community Engagement. You're going around recruiting, or what's some part of your responsibilities?
Well, most recently, I've been paying attention to what's going on at the state capitol.
All right.
They're about to dismiss in a couple weeks, and so we know that the governor has filed for a voucher bill to expand vouchers across the state of Tennessee, not just here in Nashville, Davidson County, and Shelby and Memphis, but to take this across the state.
Right.
And, this is going to vastly impact us.
How you feel about that voucher, taking money from public schools and giving it to privates?
Well, as a private school kid, I would say I support private schools, but I
Right.
don't support this legislation, and neither does the Urban League, because we know that this is going to take money out of school systems across the state, and it will, it will disproportionately take
Right.
that money away from them, but still for you to pay for someone to go to a private school.
Right. Let's dig a little deeper into politics,
Mm-hmm.
President. Is this all about power and money, being able to control
It is.
in the legislature?
It's all about power and money, but it also is about people wanting to take us back to a time when people of color didn't have as many rights,
Okay.
right? So we have to be very cognizant of what's going on.
And be aware of the people that we put in office.
We'll be aware of the people that we put into office, and fight to get the people that needs to be out of the office out.
Right.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of issues on Capitol Hill lately
a whole lot of
between
issues.
the Republicans and the Democrats. Can we all get along? Can we get something passed for the good of the people?
Ernie, I could spend all of my days my work addressing that. But at the end of the day, I have to go and deal with the hand that's dealt with me and help people pull themselves up and move forward. Make sure that they're getting access to good paying jobs, because the things that are positive that is happening are not reported. It's like this report brings out the fact that there have always been barriers and black students are still more likely than white counterparts to have untrained teachers
Right.
come into their classrooms and stuff. And at the same time, though, the black dropout rate has gone down from 13.1% in 2000 to 3.9% in 2024. And we're seeing an uptick in more black students enrolling into black colleges as well. Now, enrollment does not mean graduation. So we all have a responsibility of getting people across the hump. And then now we need those same students to come back into their homes, their neighborhoods, and take the responsibility for running for office and to help turn some of this stuff around. We can't all be on the school board. We can't all run for positions and all in
Right.
Metro.
Speaking of schools, there's been a lot of talk on Capitol Hill lately
Yes.
in regards to Tennessee State University. Did the Urban League make any statement or comment in regard? to what's going on?
Yeah, we made a statement now that it was deplorable and all this to what was going on with Tennessee State University. But at the end of the day, Ernie, all the legislators have to do and all is pay the money and all that is owed to Tennessee State. Tennessee State didn't do anything any different than the University of Tennessee did, when it came to housing students. But at the end of the day, someone decided that Tennessee State was doing missteps. Well, you know, if you don't have the resources, you have to do what you have to do.
Right. What is the state of Black America? 737-9292, 615-737-9292. Or you can go to Facebook Live, go down to Let's Talk Nashville. Post your questions or call. And, of course, you'll be talking to the president and CEO of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, along with Kenya Magruder, who was the director of Civic and Community Engagement. Mr. President, we hear all the time, you don't mind me calling you Mr. President, or President Harris, covert racism. We hear that term a lot.
Yeah, we hear that term.
Can we change that around? What is it?
Yeah, we have to deal with people's biases and their covert racism in order to overcome being locked out of various industries. And so we have to make sure that we are challenging people's biases in a way that helps them change their attitudes.
Right. Change the mindset.
Change the mindset. Right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Crime, and especially black-on-black crime across the country. Your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is that we have to make sure that our police force have the resources that they need to do the job. And I think Chief John Drake and his team is doing a good job. Now, crime is down, but media does a different spin on crime, and it makes it seem like it is out of control. Well, not so much. Crime is coming down, but residents and patrons, or visitors have to do their part as well. You don't leave your keys in your cars. You don't leave your cars unlocked, and you don't store your guns in your cars.
President Harris of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee. Now, Kenya Magruder is the engagement director. What about helping these young people get on the right track? You got a summer camp or anything coming up?
Well, no summer camp. However, what is happening, we are helping 14 to 24-year-old young people go to work this summer. It's an excellent time to make $16 an hour to select a area of interest for you, and we will partner you with an employer that you will go and spend good time with and make money. This is an excellent time to sharpen your tools and to decide what area you would like to go work in.
Do we see an influx or a lot more summer jobs coming in to the Urban League? And how old does a young person need to be?
Well, I'm going to say this. I think that companies are really clamoring at the opportunity to be able to host the young people because this is another way for them to impact, but also fill in some gaps. And also another way for you to try before you buy. And again, this is ages 14 to 24. If you are a company and you are looking to recruit, call us at the Urban League office at 615-254-0525 or visit us on our website at ulmt.org.
All right. 737-9292. And, of course, you can post your questions or comments on Facebook or on YouTube. We have a comment from Miss Long. She says, Capitol Hill is an awful place, it seems, and they just fight and argue all the time. I remember one incident where some lawmakers almost became fist to fist.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. Is it that serious now?
It's not necessary. It's supposed to be a place for the people, and now you want to set the limits on how many people can come and be in the gallery at the time that legislation is going on. Really, there's so much work that we could be doing on positive things like expanding Medicare, as an example, which would help a whole lot of people, and making sure that we are doing the things that's going to set our state and our communities and our cities up to succeed. And not to try and hamper everything that is done. I don't get it. Right. Common sense needs to prevail.
Right. I want to talk about funds or funding for the Urban League. Can people make donations? Ms. Magruder or
people
President
make
Harris?
people make donations, and we want people to make donations
Okay, great.
by going to our website, because that's how we fight for you. You know, when you have your own money, you know you have your own voice.
Absolutely.
Right. So it takes money, you know, to get people trained. It takes money, you know, to make sure, you know, that we're fighting against voter suppression and gerrymandering and all the other tricks and all that is coming up and all around voter engagement and voter registration. But at the same time, you know, we, you know, need resources in order, you know, to help people get good paying jobs, because the train is expensive, as you might imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And but we're good stewards of the resources that we have, and that's why we're, as Ms. Magruder said, you know, we're putting youth to work between the ages of 14 to 26 at $16 an hour, and they get, you know, to explore a career that they may think, you know, they might be interested in, and so that we can get them on the right track.
So, Mr. Magruder, can you pass along the number and the website, and we're going to pass it back again before we
Right.
leave.
First of all, it is students ages 14 to 24.
All right.
And you can call 615-254-0525, or you can visit at our website at ulmt.org.
All right. Community engagement is what you do. We have a lot of events coming up, and the Urban League will be involved. One, of course, is the golf tournament. Sam Howard.
Yes, I think Mr.
The,
President
the,
can talk
the,
more about
the
that.
20th
He's the
anniversary
golfer.
of our golf tournament, Mr. Sam Howard's annual
Yes.
golf tournament, and you know, Mr. Howard,
Oh, yeah.
he
He was my boss for
He
years.
was a pillar for this community,
Yes, sir.
and we're keeping his name alive, you know, in the Urban League. This will be a major event. We will have both courses out at the Hermitage, you know, so we'll have shotgun starts off of that. Probably approximately 30 teams for each course. This is also going to be a 2-day event, and so we're really excited about that. You know, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have Uncle Near's stations out on the course. We're going to
Right.
have holding one prizes for cars. We'll have cigar stations, and we'll also have ice cream stations. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great day. It's one of our biggest fundraisers.
How is your golf game?
My golf game is pretty good, but on that day, I don't get to play.
You don't get to play?
I get to host. I get to
Right.
host on that day.
Right. Also, you're involved with an expungement clinic coming up.
Yes, we got an
Yes.
expungement clinic coming up on April the 13th, and I'm going to let Miss Magruder talk about that.
Ms. King Magruder.
Yes, and so as we talk about employment, there are also barriers to employment, and we know that here in our community, that men and women are having challenges to go to work because they have some things on their record that need to be expunged. So
Right.
this Saturday, April the 13th, we want you to come to Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church from 9 to 1, where we will be there with our friends from the Tennessee Justice Center, Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee, and the Napier Luby Bar Association. And this is an excellent opportunity for you to be able to speak with an attorney so that we can also help you remove some of these barriers off of your record from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
What should they bring?
Themselves.
Okay.
And be ready to, I will say this is that this will be an opportunity for you to talk to someone. So make sure that you are looking presentable. You don't know who's going to
Right.
be there. And I
Right.
say that because there very well might be a
Dressed
judge.
to impress.
Yes, there very well might be a judge there that can help excuse this off of your record. So if you are looking to get your record expunged, please let's do it this Saturday, April 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Mount Gilead.
Mount Gilead.
All
And-
right.
And Ernie, this is also for people who think they may not have a record, but do actually have a record because
Absolutely.
of some ticket or something that they
Right.
got. and they
Every
had to go
time
to
you are
school.
stopped
That's right.
and you're convicted, and
Right.
that's your record.
That's right. And so
Right.
we
And thi-
get that stuff expunged.
And one thing I forgot to say, this is only for Davidson County records. We are in partnership with Howard Gentry's office, the criminal court clerk. So if you have a record in Davidson County, we will only be working with you from Davidson County.
All right. A job fair is in the making.
Job fairs in the making. We just had one successful job fair a couple of weeks ago, but we got more that is in the making as a part of our Advancing Workforce Equity Initiative. where we are actually training people to get them ready, for good paying jobs. We also assist, with child care and transportation. I mean, remove the barriers that it takes for
Right.
individuals to get the training that they need to get a high demand, good paying job.
Can I get a fair share? Can I get a piece of the big slice of the pie
Yes, sir.
working with corporations?
That's right. We want to make sure now that
What are
you
you
have
telling them?
access. I am telling people that you can do and be whatever it is that you have put your mind to do. So we do an assessment test to make sure that you are bent toward the career that you are strongest in. If you're an outdoor person, there's no sense in me putting you into an indoor job,
Right.
or vice versa,
Right.
right? Or if you're a person good with numbers, I may not want to put you in the hospitality industry, at least greeting people, right? So we want to try and get you into the right slot based on what your strong suits are. And then in addition to that, we will have you go over to Matthew Walker and do a physical assessment as well as a mental health wellness assessment, because we want to make sure that you are capable of going to work. We don't want to send people to work, who are sick and can't work. Then the employer, looks at us, like you sent me a bad person, right? Well, we
Right.
want to send them the best person, the best employee that they can possibly get.
Mr. Clifton Harris, the president of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, along with Kenya Magruder, the director of civic and community engagement. Post your questions and your comments. What is the state of Black America? Also, grab a phone line, 615-737-9292. The Urban League is involved in a lot of things, and maybe some people are not even aware. It's almost like the world's best kept secret, if you will.
Yeah,
And we've only touched the tip of the iceberg.
we've only touched the tip of the iceberg. No, we have to do a lot of things because we're required to do a lot of things.
Right.
We don't get the luxury of pick and choosing, what battles we get to fight. When you strap on your armor and all, you have to go to work.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And Miss Magruder got another great program coming up. On April the 30th, that she should tell you about.
All right.
100 Wise Women.
Miss Magruder.
Yep. So the power of making a difference. 100 Wise Women. Last year we had former state senator Brenda Gilmore as our guest speaker, and this year we bring in a dynamic board member of ours, which is Dr. Shauna Jackson. And this event is open to everyone. Last year we kept it to women, but this year we're opening it to everyone. There were more than 250 women in one room. We hope that you would come and learn about learn about her challenges, her pearls to success, to share with you her hits and misses, her journey, how she got to
Absolutely.
be what she is. But we know that women of color, and particularly Black women, they have good stories to tell.
Hmm.
And as we talked about women or Black people in the workforce, this is our opportunity to learn from Dr. Jackson's success. And so she is one of our 100 wise women, and she will share her
Right.
pearls of success.
We
And
just celebrated National Women's
Mhm.
History Month or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. And so, again, this is April 30th. We'll be at the Fisher Center at Belmont, and you can purchase your ticket at umlt.org.
All right. Kenya Magruder, she is the Civic and Community Engagement Director for the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, where the president, Mr. Clifton Harris, is our guest. He is also the CEO. And I understand that you have a prestigious announcement or acknowledgement, and you have been honored as the Nashville Post as one of the 2024 In Charge nonprofit leaders. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, Ernie. I'm humbled not to be among the candidates that received that award. So many great people that are doing good work in this community. But I'm also humbled and grateful for the opportunity to work alongside of great staff members that makes it look easy for everybody
Right.
and make me look good. Because they do an outstanding job.
How many people you have on staff?
We have 22 people on staff now.
Wow.
Right. And I'm just, again, I'm humbled to know that God would pick a young boy like me from the tobacco fields of North Carolina to be set at the helm of a great organization
Yes, sir.
and empower community and change lives. It's
Racism,
awesome.
discrimination, we hear it all the time. That's one of the injustices that the Urban League is doing to fighting.
Yep.
Have you ever been pulled over? Yeah, you
Yes,
ever been a victim of racism, discrimination?
I have been pulled over.
What was that experience like?
It was it was somewhat humiliating. No,
Hmm.
right? This is when I was driving around in my little blue truck, and I had a tail light go out that I didn't know about it, and the officer pulled me over and spoke to me as if I was a child,
Wow.
right? And of course, I did what we were always told, 10 and 2. And I talked to him respectfully, even though he did not talk to me respectfully.
Right.
And I took my ticket and I went on,
Hmm.
right? I, it, I, I just felt like, that at that time, uh, yes, I had a responsibility for getting my tail light fixed, one, but I didn't know it was out. Okay.
Right.
I'll take that responsibility. But to be talked to, in the way that I was spoken to
Right.
was somewhat humiliating because I was old enough to be this officer's father.
Hmm. You didn't say, hey, I'm Clifton Harris, the president and CEO of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee.
Well, I didn't even go there, because,
Okay.
everybody deserves respect.
I understand.
Yeah, and so my prayer now is, and my work is to make sure now that when it comes to public safety, that we're doing the things to fight for justice and public safety, and that's why now our Congress needs to pass the George Floyd Act.
Right. It is an election year, and of course, we'll be voting for a new president, among other
Mm-hmm.
things that are
Mm-hmm.
going on. We just had a local election here in Middle Tennessee.
Yep.
Your views on going to the ballot box and picking the right candidate
We're
or of your
going to the
choice.
polls to vote for the people who will work to have the impact on our communities, is important.
Right.
And if we don't go to the polls and vote, then we don't really have a voice to say, about what goes on.
Right.
One of the worst things that can do is not go to vote, then because a no vote is a yes vote, for the opposite person.
Absolutely. All right. Your views on voting. You've been involved in the political scene for years. In fact, it's in your DNA.
My views on voting is that everyone should vote.
Okay.
As Mr. President said, is if we don't vote, we basically send someone or give people the idea that it's okay to do the things that's happening. The lady put the post up saying that there's just madness going on at the state capitol. It's like that because we have sat right here
Hmm.
and not gone to go vote. And it's not just Davidson County, it's Rutherford County, it's Montgomery County. If we just get out and vote and show whoever we support, then we are going to see a difference in who represents us. And that's from local election all the way up to the presidential election.
615-737-9292. You can talk to Mr. Clifton Harris, the president and CEO of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, or Miss Kenya Magruder, who's the director of the Civic and Community Engagement. Grab a phone line, 615-737-9292. Do people understand the real role of the Urban League, President Harris, to get it confused with any other community organizations?
I don't think they do. I think, and that's an area that the Urban League has to fix. But
Right.
if you are under 40, most people will say, "Who? The Urban League? Who? What do y'all do?"
Right.
Right? If you're over 40, the chances are, especially if you're over 50, chances are, that the Urban League has helped you in some way, back in the day. And so now we are trying to be consistent. We're staying relevant. We want people to see us, as Ms. Magruder says, early and often, so that they know the work that we do for them is to help them get a piece of the economic pie,
Right.
so that they can have access to good paying jobs. Um, Construction industry has changed. It's not as dirty as it used to be. IT, of course, is changing every day, right?
Absolutely.
And the medical industry is definitely changing every day with new technologies, And so you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse to have a good paying job in the medical profession, because there's all kinds of careers at the hospitals in the medical industry to earn a really good high paying job and good decent living.
Right. But first, you got to be willing to get up and go get that job.
You got to go get that
It's
job.
not going to come
It's,
knocking at your
it's
door.
not going to come knocking at your
And if
door.
you need training, the Urban League is where you can go.
And we're here to help people get the training that they need. To
One of the best kept secrets in town.
we make sure that we have pathways to get you where you want to go.
Right.
Our youth know the pathway to get to the NFL or the NBA,
Right.
but they don't necessarily know the pathway to get to the boardroom.
Absolutely. So now when people come to me and say, hey, I need a job, I need a career change,
Send them over to the Urban
go to
League.
the Urban League.
That's right.
The Urban League.
We're gonna help you with your resume. We're gonna tell you, oh, this resume is jacked up. No, you need to do better on this
Right.
resume. You need to talk more about what you do.
Right. Do you work well with the other community organizations in
We do.
Middle Tennessee?
We do. So right now we're working with several organizations as it relates to our youth employment initiative, our Tennessee Youth Employment Initiative, where we are paying organizations to do the work that they do as it relates to getting workforce and getting people jobs. And so I just wrote a check to another organization the other day for the things that they're doing to help 15 people get jobs.
All right.
I wrote them a check and offer $41,000 to help them.
Wow.
Because the training is running about $3,800 a person.
Okay. The Urban League of Middle Tennessee.
Urban League of Middle Tennessee.
People helping people.
They're people helping people.
Wow. 737.
And people give to people.
Right. 737-9292. Your questions, your comments to the president of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, Mr. Clifton Harris, or for Kenya Magruder, Director of Civic and Community Engagement. And, of course, if you have a question or you want to post it, go right ahead and post it. We want to hear from you. What is your vision for the next, let's say, 5 years, sir?
For the next 5 years, I would say, the vision is bright.
Right.
We got a lot of economic opportunities that's going to impact our community over the next 10, 15, 20 years, Ernie, to be exact. You have the development of the East Bank. I mean, how many cities get to develop a whole new neighborhood?
Right.
Right? When you think about the impact that's going to have.
Can we get some minority vendors over there?
That's right. That's why we're training them up now. You're going to have the infrastructure of transit that we have to deal with that have to be regionally. So there's opportunity there. Most people don't think about this, but we have an aging infrastructure as far as our bridges, our sewer lines, our water lines. All those things have to be updated. And broadband is another area.
Right.
And healthcare and technology is constantly changing. And so there's going to be tremendous opportunity. I tell people all the time, over the next 10, 15 years, there's going to be a $50+ billion being in this neighborhood.
Absolutely.
We can't be getting ready. We got to be ready.
Right. And get some of the contracts.
Get some of these contracts.
The new Titan Stadium.
That's right.
Getting
The new
ready.
Titan Stadium.
We need to get part of the contract.
That's right.
All right. I'm sorry, Ms. Magruder?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
And not just the building of the stadium, but the operation of the stadium.
Right. They need to come to the Urban League.
That's
Middle
right.
Tennessee.
They need to come to the Urban League.
All right. Any other programs coming up in the near future, Ms. Magruder?
No. I will say that if you are looking for a job, this is the perfect time for you to call to get into this. As the president has stated, we're involved in several projects, and so if you are looking to make a change in your life, this is now it. If you are shifting, want to change a chapter and go into another field, this is the time to get ready and to be able to do that.
If community organizations want the Urban League to be involved, they can call you and
Yes.
we'll make a note of it and get there and do the best we can.
By all means. I mean, we're partnering on several things. The conversation about COVID has basically kind of changed, left our mouths until you hear someone say that they've received COVID, but it's impacting other things, infant mortality rates. People have long COVID. It's causing heart attacks. It's impacting us. It's impacting the way we work. Even your industry has changed since COVID.
Absolutely.
And so you can actually, so COVID has changed everything and has changed a lot for us in the workforce. It's also helped people demand to make more money. And so we are involved in every aspect of your life throughout the day.
All
And
right, the
and
Urban League of Middle Tennessee.
and Ernie, if we want people, especially businesses, if you own a business and you need help, you need employers, contact the Urban League. I don't know. I don't know any other way to make it clear that we will. If you want to hire someone, we'll put the first $16 an hour on the table for you.
Wow. We need to do better than the current pay scale,
That's right.
which is what, 750 almost?
725.
725. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
don't know if it costs $80,000 a year to live in Nashville. That is not 725. That's not $15 an hour. That's almost $41 an hour. And to get that kind of pay, you have to have a skill or major in something that's going to pay you good money.
Right. I want to highlight some of the conversation that we had. Let's
Sure.
go. Let's remind everyone again about the 20th annual Sam Howard Golf Tournament coming up.
Yes, if you're a golfer and you want to have a lot of fun, we invite you to come out and participate in the 20th anniversary of the Sam Howard Annual Golf Tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to raise a lot of money, and we're going to have a 2-day event, second to none, out at the Hermitage Golf Course on June the 27th.
All right. Sounds like good fun.
It's good fun.
The Expungement Clinic, once again, Miss Magruder.
Yes, this Saturday, April the 13th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church in Hermitage. If you have a Davidson County record, you can come out so that we can help you get your record expunged.
All right. Summer Youth Employment Program.
Well, as we have stated, it's now called the Tennessee Youth Employment Program. Ages 14 to 24. If you are looking to go to work, we want to help you do that. You can sign up right now. If you go to the Urban Links website, which is ulmt.org, and click on Summer Youth, this will be not only for a young person, but also as an employer. If you would like to host, and that's a nonprofit or foundation, corporation, we love to have you and welcome you as a part of the Urban Link family.
You're busy, but I got a couple more for you. The second annual 100 Wise Women.
Yes. Join us on Tuesday, April the 30th, where Dr. Shauna Jackson, president of Nashville State Community College, will be our special guest. And she'll share her story, her hits, her misses, her challenges as a woman leader in this great community. And you can get your tickets on our website. And we look forward to having you be a part of this breakfast series.
All right. Kenya Magruder,
Thank you.
Director of Community Engagement, if you will, or Civic and Community Engagement. You have a lot on the plate. There's a lot going on. The Urban League needs to say, we want everyone to be involved in it, basically.
Everybody to be involved.
Right. President Harris, what do you see as the vision for the state of Black Middle Tennessee?
So that's going to be coming out in June, and
Right.
we're
Can we
gonna,
get a small preview?
not quite. No,
Okay.
we are kind of holding things close to the vest because we want to make sure and all that one, we get it right, and two, we want to make sure we have solutions for the deep disparities that we have, and we're going to as I tell Kenya all the time, when it comes out, we're going to take it on the road,
Right.
and we're going to really talk about how we are defending democracy, demanding diversity, and defeating poverty.
The state of Black America.
Yes,
Good, bad, indifferent. We're working on it. How are we doing?
I would say we're making progress. And also in the report, there is a track record on President Joe Biden and his administration, and all the great things that that administration has done that they don't get credit for.
Right.
And so people need to educate themselves when it comes to defending democracy. We've talked a little bit about what that looks like, but at the same time, we also are demanding diversity, and that is an attack on the affirmative action laws and all that we've had on the books and all. So there's an attack on that, and We got to make sure that we're recruiting people from diverse candidate backgrounds to be candidates for the offices that are held. And then finally, when it comes to defeating poverty, the Urban League is working on making sure that people get access to good paying jobs.
Right.
But on a policy front, we got to make sure that Congress passed the earned income tax credit and the child tax
Yes,
credit.
sir. Yes, sir.
Because that helps poor people.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so we cannot allow Congress to sit idle by and watch people not be able to take advantages of programs that would really help them have a better quality of life. I'll put it that way.
Do you think people are more active now about voting because this is a presidential election year about Donald Trump versus Joe Biden? Joe Biden versus Donald Trump?
I think people are trying to find a way not to pick between the two.
All right.
But you got to pick.
Okay.
You got to pick one, right? And
right.
I say pick the one that's going to work for you and your community the best. The Urban League is nonpartisan, so we can't get into telling you who to vote for, but we can tell you and educate you on what the issues are.
Right. But my vote doesn't count. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Yes, it does.
What do you say to the naysayers?
When people tell me their vote doesn't count, then I say no. Then you're casting a vote for the person that's not going to do the things that's going to help you and your family and Big Mama and them, right? So every vote counts. You got to vote. You got
right.
You got to.
But
get
I
out
voted, and they didn't count all the ballots. They stole the election.
Well, we didn't have that situation here in Tennessee, and we should not help perpetuate that because that is what other people do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard truth isn't true. When's the last time truth isn't true?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have not had that situation happen in Davidson County, nor have we had it in Middle Tennessee. So, I haven't heard of any dead people voting.
Okay.
So.
Well, you have to bring it up.
Right. But I think that when you bring it up, we need to bring it up to the fact that that's part of the reasons why people don't vote or they make those excuses
Clear it
why
up.
not to vote.
That's part of the strategy that is used to keep you from voting.
Absolutely.
Right. However, we have so many reasons why we do need to be going to vote. Why we don't talk about a particular candidate, we talk about the issues.
Right.
And, locally, when we return to vote this August, this will be in each of our counties will be your county general election, but it will also be your state and your federal primary. So you will be voting on who will represent you in the state house, who will also represent you federally. So we want you to understand that the issues that are coming down the pike, which will be about voting rights, could be about abortion, could be about workers' rights, and education.
Right.
A big
What
issue.
do you feel is some of the top issues facing Black America right now?
I mean, well, first of all, students, paying for college.
Okay.
This president has been out here reducing your tax, your money for going back to school. So, but abortion is on the table. Women are having a lot of conversations about what's happening to our bodies this time. We're
Right.
having it not only in this state, but it's also a national issue.
Okay. All right.
So,
I know
let's see.
we get you fired up. Kenya Magruder, who's the Civic and Engagement Director. And of course, if the Magruder name sounds familiar to you, what about the Magruder Center, named after her grandmother? All right, Curly Magruder. Thank you so much. And keep me informed on what you got going on.
Always.
All right. President Clifton Harris, President and CEO of the Urban League of Middle Tennessee, do not walk around talking about, I don't have anything to do. Come and get some training. Get some job skills. Get a job.
Invest in yourself.
Right. Yes, sir.
And when investing in yourself, you're also investing in your future and your family's future.
Word to the wise for Black America, Black Middle Tennessee.
Get out and vote.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need that email address and that phone number again, Mr. Magruder.
The Urban League's office is 615-254-0525. And our website is ulmt.org.
All right.
Support the Urban League.
Yes, sir. Great conversation.
Only
today.
costs you $50 to become a member.
There you
Wow.
go. Small price.
Small price.
We
Well,
pay the
big
price to
investment.
empower our community.
We're investing in lives.
That's right.
Let us empower you to change your life.
All right. The Urban League of Middle Tennessee and the president, Clifton Harris, the president and CEO, who will be around another 20 years. So
I don't know about that now. But
you have an open invitation to come back, sir.
thank you, sir.
All
My
right.
pleasure.
And you as well, Ms. McGrew.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. And always remember to respect your father and your mother. Love your brother. Teach your sister how to be a lady. And until our next episode, it's been our pleasure. We always been yours.
You've been listening to Let's Talk with your host, Ernie Allen. The views and opinions expressed on Let's Talk do not necessarily represent the position of this radio station or management on the subject matter. Let's Talk is a presentation of the News and Public Affairs Department of 92Q. Check out this and previous Let's Talk shows online at 92qnashville.com.